Hey guys, Shane here. Doing a review today on a knife that was loaned in to me by Mr. Kyle Coonley. This, in case you didn't know, is the Monterey Bay Knives XLC, which stands for extra large carry. So since they included the size in the name, I just want to kind of give you a comparison here. This, in my opinion, is an extra large carry. That's the Cold Steel 4-Max Scout, 4-inch blade, huge handle, big hunking knife. I don't know that I really consider this an extra large carry. It's just a large knife to me. It fits my hand perfectly, as you can see. Not really a whole lot of excess hanging out the back. But yeah, I guess for Monterey Bay knives, this is kind of an extra large knife though. And but more importantly than the size is just how classy and sleek and beautiful this thing is, guys. This is a full titanium frame lock. Nothing super fancy going on the frame. It's just got that one fuller right down the middle. One thing that is really cool about this knife, guys, this is an integral. So for those of you who don't know what that means they took one solid chunk of titanium, milled out the insides of it, and had to make all the inner workings of a pocket knife fit inside there. Makes it way harder to produce, which means the price is going to be more expensive. And it's already in premium materials such as your titanium frame, an M390 blade, and in classic Monterey Bay knife style, it is very, very slim. Because these things, I know there may be thinner knives out there, but these things just disappear in your pocket. The weight is perfect for this size. The blade to handle ratio, as you can see here, they used almost every bit of that handle to fit as much blade into it as they possibly could, which is even more impressive to me as far as an integral goes. I've mentioned this several times before. Kyle Coonley is the owner-operator at Clinging Works Sharpening. He does knife sharpening. He did, however, inform me that he has not touched this edge. And guys, this factory edge on this Monterey Bay knives literally blows every factory edge I've ever tested out of the water. I don't know if they're all this way. I've got a Monterey Bay Knives Old Guard Sheepfoot in ZDP 189. I did get it secondhand, so I don't know if it was used at all, but it's not as thin behind the edge as this, and it's not nearly as sharp as this. This is literally just a folding razor, man. This thing is super sharp. So hats off to Monterey Bay Knives for seeing a knife out with an excellent factory edge on it. Yeah, and it's also got, their standard titanium, milled titanium pocket clip, which does work great. I've had it in and out of pocket just a few times, but yeah, it works great. Doesn't seem like it's going to tear my pocket up. I don't fight with it to get it in or out. So, this would be a great everyday carry knife. One thing that amazes me about Monterey Bay Knives, I'm sure a lot of you know they produced their first U.S. made knife this past year, the Sea Otter. I'd love to see more of that, but I'm going to give credit where credit's due, guys. I don't know what shop they're having this made in China, and they don't disclose that, and I completely understand why. It's not them being shady. It's just they don't want their supplier being so overran that they can't get them to make what they want when they want. But there's definitely a huge difference between this Chinese produced knife and almost every other Chinese produced knife I've ever handled. Not saying, Riot makes some nice knives, no doubt about that, but I'm very curious. I only want to know who produces this knife because I want to know who it is in China that truly cares about heat treat. Because from everything I've experienced so far with Monterey Bay knives, everything I've read, everything I've researched, it seems like they have an excellent heat treat. They have really good geometry. These knives just seem like, I know they were designed by Mr. Ray Laconico, as you can see right there. So I guess we give him credit for the excellent cutting geometry. But even if he designs it and pays to have it made, whoever's producing it still have to come through. They still have to perform. And this particular maker out of China is most certainly doing that. Um, I don't know who else they make knives for. I have, I would never, I'm not trying to spread a rumor. I don't know this at all, but I do kind of get kind of a similar vibe off some of the Kunwus that I've handled. Um, Not saying they're the same maker. I don't know that, but I do. I just get that vibe when I handle a Kunwu. It reminds me of the Monterey Bay knives that are produced in China. But guys, this is an excellent, excellent pocket knife. If you've even been thinking about purchasing one, the absolute only uh, negative that I could give about this is the country of origin. However, unlike a Kunwu or a Sativian or this that Riot XO that's just been released, it's not just a Chinese company that is making a profit here. They are producing a knife for Monterey Bay Knives, which is an American knife company. It's Mr. Sanford Owen right there in California. So there's some profits and coming back to the United States off of this thing. There's some tax dollars involved. This is as good, in my opinion, this is as good as you can do when having a knife produced overseas, because it is still benefiting an American company. So yeah, I have zero, and I mean zero complaints with this thing. This is a very, very classy knife. I think it could fill any role that you want it to, whether it be your gentleman's knife. I wouldn't feel right using this for hard use. There's no doubt in my mind that I could use it for some heavy duty cutting, but I certainly wouldn't use it to pry with and things like that. But other than that, it's just as far as an everyday carry pocket knife, an excellent high performance cutting tool. This thing fills every niche for me. It is very fidgety, guys. I'm not the best at that, and certainly not under my phone. It's not drop shut. It is very smooth and hydraulic on the shut though. If my phone wasn't right here in my way, I can flick it shut. But yeah. Anyway, like I said, this knife belongs to Mr. Kyle Coonley. Got a couple of more knives of his I need to get reviewed and get back to him. But this one was an absolute pleasure. I'll show you my Monterey Bay knives just to give you a comparison. This is the Mbk Old Guard Sheepfoot and jacketed ZDP 189, and this is the Monterey Bay Knives XLC. So there you do get a little bit more blade there. Both these knives are excellent made cutting tools, and I'm a big fan of Sanford. I met him at Blade shows. He's a super nice guy. I also met Ray Laconico. He's a super nice guy. There is a pretty big difference in these knives, though. This one is a inset liner lock, where this one's a Framelock Integral, and this one is not a fidget knife. This knife on the close has more of a Chris Reeve hydraulic on old glass type shut, but it does not drop. So yeah, that's all I got for you guys today. You guys know I appreciate any amount of time y'all spend with me. And peace. Love y'all.